What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/MaliciousCompliance.
This story's called Cheese Compliance. This is a very mild malicious compliance. I worked as a to-go specialist for a restaurant that was fairly busy in the to-go area. This isn't just me, since the entire team was great, but we were consistently rated number 1 in the company out of 600 plus restaurants while I worked there. Some of my fellow coworkers have left, and I hear their scores dropped a lot. I worked nights, since the lunch to-go specialist had a son in school and was a single mom. Sometimes her son would have days off school or something would come up, and I would come in early to fill in. We had some servers cross-trained to do so, but I never complained. If no one takes it, I get overtime. While I was working the rare blue moon of a lunch, a usual customer placed an order with standard extra cheese in the instructions on her salad. And to go, we have a cheese packet that we give out instead of grating it. I, of course, put the cheese in her utensil bag, thinking that is it. It wasn't. When the usual comes in, nothing out of the normal happens. Our to-go manager is very friendly and flexible, but strict on following policy, so mistakes get caught and fixed. One of my favorite managers I have worked under in any business. Our policy requires us showing each item with each having a clear lid. The salads are the only ones with the entire container being clear. Most people don't pay attention, and she was no different. About 30 minutes later, we get a call. The lady was upset that we did not follow her to-go instructions. Without missing a beat, I just ask her the name for her to-go order and place her on hold for the manager. The manager heads over to me, and I'm looking in my backlog of tickets for the name. When I find it, I hand it to her. I let the manager know the extra cheese was in the utensil bag, so maybe she didn't notice it. The lady on the phone said that she got no cheese on her salad and was upset. The manager says that the cheese in to-go orders is placed in the utensil bag. The lady huffs on the phone about how that cheese tastes terrible, which, to be fair, it doesn't taste different, but the texture is more powder than the grated cheese. The manager apologizes and says that next time she comes in, we will pay for her salad and give her a free slice of cheesecake on us. The next day, my coworker tells her her usual came and complained about how dumb I was for not knowing what she gets, how she comes every day, and how my coworker is the only one with brains at my work. My awesome coworker and I were close, and I often went out drinking with her and her boyfriend. She said she defended me, but whatever I did really agitated her. She informed me that the lady only likes grated cheese, and she usually does a layer on top, which I put in my notes for later. A couple of weeks later, coworker was going on vacation, and I was going to be working lunches for the week. This is due to most trained people having college and can work nights and not lunches. Of course, I get an online order from the lady again, which after jokes about her rant about me became the norm in the to-go area, it wasn't hard to forget her name. I decided I would make this lady understand that I'm capable and was ready to wow her with extra service. I had her entire order ready. I ensured everything was clean and looked very nice. Even set up her salad to look like pictures and advertisements. The only thing I didn't know is how much cheese did she actually want. I didn't want to overdo the cheese and ruin her salad. I put a cheese grater to the side of her salad and waited. When she arrived, there was a line and I was very busy. When she reached the front, there were 2 people behind her. I start going over her order, saving the salad for last. She clearly remembered me and was not looking happy upon me just greeting her. All her food is good, her drink has enough ice, and pink lemonade for her. All looks good so far. Now for the salad. For this part, she will be known as usual customer. This was well over 2 years ago, so I'm keeping it a bit shorter, and this isn't everything since I don't fully remember. I'm holding her salad and a cheese grater. Alright, usual customer, here's your house salad. There is no cheese on it? I have a cheese grater. She cut me off. You did this last time. I interrupted her. I regret doing that. I have never put cheese on your salad, so she cut me off. I was going to ask you to tell me when to stop so I know for the future how much is perfect. I want your manager. I push my headset that connects to host, bussers, and managers. To go manager, I need you to the front, please. Once a manager's called, I shut up and wait unless I'm asked a question, so we just stood there in silence while we wait. Usually takes about 5 to 20 seconds for a manager. Manager walks up and immediately, he didn't put any cheese on my salad again. You should train your employees better. My manager looks at me confused since I have great surveys and scores. I'm sorry about that. How much cheese would you like? I'm holding the cheese grater out to my manager already, so she picks up on the hint. I have never had this problem with awesome coworker. Manager begins grating. I'm glad awesome coworker is doing great, so let me know when to stop while grating the cheese. Usual customer, after a second, says stop and she pays and leaves. I help the rest of the guests. Then the manager asks me what that was about. I explained that I remembered she didn't want the packets, but I didn't know how much extra cheese was since I've never served her before, and extra is different for everyone. I kept note on how much cheese was on her salad that my manager did because I do take pride in my work, no matter the job. 2 days later, I am still working a lunch shift for my awesome coworker. The lady doesn't place an online order, but calls this time. I pick up, of course, and she asks when awesome coworker works. I explain that I can't talk about my coworker's private life, as that would be an invasion of privacy and break company policy. The lady reluctantly accepts it and rudely asks if I can get a simple salad correct this time. I said no problem. Now here is where the malicious compliance comes in. All of our calls are recorded, so I wasn't worried. She ordered everything normal. However, when it came to her salad, she went full Karen voice and stated very clearly, I want a simple salad with extra cheese. I know some people think that means no cheese, so I want extra cheese. Whatever amount guarantees I get some cheese. Do you understand? I responded with a simple, I understand, and told her the total. When the lady was rudely explaining her salad, I decided to type out her exact special instructions, which showed up on the receipt as well. So on her receipt was essentially house salad, extra cheese, not no cheese, extra cheese. This is important later. I not only put some cheese on her salad, I load up the salad with cheese. Normally there is a decent airspace between the lid and salad. I put 2 full blocks of grated cheese on this bad boy. It was impressive to me. She wanted extra cheese. Then I will comply. The usual customer comes in and I positioned her order so the salad is the first thing she sees. I also put the ticket that read extra cheese, not no cheese, extra cheese, on top of it with the instructions that have a pen box and a check mark next to it. Her mouth did a silent gasp, but she paid and left. No call, no complaints. Each day I filled in for my awesome coworker, I would get unusual calls of people hanging up after my greeting, which I assumed was her. A month later, my awesome coworker tells me that the usual customer would always come in and openly complain about how I was allowed to work here. She openly hated me. My manager and coworkers didn't care because I work nights and knew what I did was only what she asked. I found out that the usual customer was a manager of a store nearby and got fired for how she treated her employees. She would always try to get my awesome coworker to come work for her, which led to my coworker knowing a lot of the issues going on at her work, which only made her want to never work for the lady. We would secretly joke to our manager how if I ever quit, I should find where my biggest fan is and go work for her. It sounds so nice. Okay, stories like this just really make me shudder because not only are these customers just not understanding, they're just not willing to listen to your side of what is going on. Like that person was trying so hard to make sure the customer was impressed with their service and had the cheese grater set up, and I would die inside if I didn't get the chance to explain, hey, I was going this extra freaking mile for you, you dumb horse. This story's called, A Woman Has a Problem with My Clothes, So I Take Them Off. I've seen stories like this on Reddit all the time, but I never expected it would happen to me. Yesterday, I was at the gym with my friend. I've had minor problems with people there before, but nothing as ridiculous as this. I had been training with my friend since 6 a.m., so the gym was pretty dead. At about 7:30, a woman comes in. There were only 2 people in the gym at the time, the manager and some other person working out in a different section. The woman checks in and heads down the stairs. She passes by my friend and me, who are working out on one of their punching bags. She stops for a second to look at me. At the time, I assumed it was because of my mad kicking skills. This was not the case. A minute or so later, she comes back. You can't wear that in here. I was wearing normal workout clothes, waist-high sweatpants/joggers, and a muscle shirt that was a bit short because my pants were high. It wasn't revealing anything. Confused, I say, sorry? You should be sorry. You shouldn't wear clothes like that in public. This is a place of God and you are disgracing it. The gym was connected to a church. I bet you aren't even here to work out. You're just here to try to show off to your boyfriends. Pointing to my friend who was trying not to laugh. You need need to change. Your shirt is too short. Those clothes are not allowed in here. She tries to continue, but I had an idea, so I cut her off. So you have a problem with my shirt? Uh-huh. Okay, I take off my shirt. I was wearing a sports bra underneath that covered everything, and you could only see an inch of my midriff due to the high-waisted pants. I had just worn a sports bra in there before, so I knew it wouldn't be a problem. Put your shirt back on right now. I'm gonna talk to the owner and get you kicked out. Great. She storms back up the stairs to the desk where the manager is. I knew I wouldn't be in trouble since I know the manager and he knows me pretty well since I also teach martial arts classes at the gym. I look at my friend like, what the heck just happened? And he just bursts out laughing, so I threw my shirt at him. Karen starts talking to him, but I can't hear what she's saying. I grab my water bottle and sneak up the stairs and behind her, trying not to be noticed. That floozy down there took her shirt off and exposed herself to me. Karen was busy yelling at the manager, so she didn't notice me. So behind her, I start pointing to myself and mouthing, I'm the floozy, and that's me, to the manager. The manager laughs at me, and the Karen yells at him for laughing because this is not a laughing matter. I still don't know how she didn't see me. I didn't want to be caught, so I walk down the hall to the water fountain to fill my water bottle up, and when I get back, the Karen is gone. Why do you always have to make my job difficult? Because it's fun. Where'd she go? She stormed out after I refused to kick you out. Well, she left her bag downstairs. Do you think I could give it to her when she comes back? He thinks about it for a second. No, unfortunately, I have to leave it behind the desk until she claims it. Dang, alright. I run downstairs to grab the bag and give it to him. My friend and I were there for another hour, and sadly, she didn't come back. But I am still overjoyed that I got to experience a wild Karen. And thank you, Malicious Compliance, for giving me the idea of what to do. Next time I'm at the gym, I will be sure to ask if she came back for her bag, and I will update y'all on what happened. Hey, OP, I appreciate your undying positivity. That was beautiful. This story's called How I Got a Teacher to Write 100 Lines for Me. Quick preface, I'm in my 30s. I went to high school in the 90s, and schools had a very different climate back then. I recently recalled this, and thought I'd share it to hopefully give a few other people a laugh. I realized it fit better here than r/school stories right after posting it there. Hahaha. Quick background info, I was in special education. Not from any disability, but due to extreme hyperactivity, and I mean extreme. Though I was pretty much over the hyperactivity by the time I hit high school, it's not easy to get out of special ed. By this point though, I was in 100% regular classes, and just had one class a day instead of a study hall, with a special education teacher who was basically there to help me if I needed help with any of my schoolwork. Because I was in special education, I had what was called an IEP. No idea what it's an acronym for, which was basically just a list of learning aids I could use if I needed them. Things like extended time on tests. I never actually used any of them, but I always had the option. One day, another kid did something. I got blamed and sent to detention. Now, like I said, I was a hyperactive kid and ended up getting detention in school a lot. But I was also very headstrong. If I felt that I had done something wrong, I'd accept whatever punishment without complaint, which to be fair, happened pretty frequently. But if I felt I was being punished unjustly, well, I usually ended up raising enough stink to warrant a real punishment. So I get in detention with a teacher I'd never seen before, and for the first time in my life, I had a teacher tell me to write lines, a punishment which I thought had died in the 70s. Remember those aids I had access to but never used? So I say, okay, I just need to use computer transcription from my IEP, so I'll do the lines on the computer. I proceeded to type out the line once, copy it, paste it 100 times, look over at the teacher and say, done. I was a fast typer back then, 100 words per minute fast. You'd be surprised what hyperactivity can be channeled into. So this was all of 20 seconds after I sat down at the computer. Teacher wasn't exactly happy with that, refused to accept it, and told me I'd have to do it by hand. She wouldn't let me use the computer this time. Now, understand, a teacher could decide not to accept one item from an IEP for a given assignment, within reason and with cause. But they cannot, by law, deny multiple things meant to address the same issue. In my case, I have barely legible handwriting, so I had multiple options to allow me to not handwrite my assignments. If requested, they have to make accommodations for said aids. Okay, I'll use dictation for my IEP then. Meaning, I say the line verbally and a staff member writes it down for me. And it looks like you're the only staff member here, and that's how I got a teacher to write 100 lines for me. I actually have to give it to her for sticking it out and writing all 100 lines rather than dropping the assignment entirely. Okay, that's really freaking good. That is why we come to malicious compliance, stuff like this. Oh, that is beautiful. Well, is that malicious compliance? I mean, he is doing the assignment, but I don't know. It's still funny. I don't care. That's some good crap. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.